my painting tutorial. Today, like usual, we're going to be doing watercolors. I have an 11 by 14-15 size sheet of Stonehenge Aqua cold press. Just going to get the paper wet. Then set up my palette while the paper soaks up the water and relaxes, stretches, etc. So I'm just taking a medium Hake brush and just super saturating this. Okay. All right, so it's been a few days since I had a chance to paint, so this is going to be nice, and hopefully I'll fall right into the groove of it. I'm kind of leaning towards something with it, just kind of that more fall colors, mainly because we finally had some colder weather down here, which is nice. The temperature dropped to 53 degrees last night, and then I think today it should drop to about the same. So, it's finally autumn down here, even though we're in the middle of August. Some fresh paint on the palette. Just I'm going to focus just more on the browns, the earth tones. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll just try to stay away from anything else on the palette. Maybe Payne's Gray, we'll use that. The burnt umber and the raw burnt sienna. Which for some reason, burnt sienna seems to be always disappearing on me. Okay, here's the burnt sienna. We may need some phthalo blue, which I have right there on the palette. That'll mix some dark greens. I'll probably wind up using some blues. Just flattening out the paper. Let's see. Let's jump right in. We'll go for a blue-gray sky. So, burnt umber, ultramarine. Let's bring that down. Okay, bring in a little bit more ultramarine. Let's have whatever type of path or water. That'll be the direction of that right there. Horizon line. And about here, just kind of pushing paint around, seeing where I want everything to go. I obviously didn't plan anything out with this, just that I'm feeling a little cold weathery. Go right like that. Let's get a darker gray. Right up there. Okay, so that was just Payne's Gray. Okay, let's mix some strong colors. I have a lot of water on my palette right now. You can see how it's just spreading out. Okay. I'm going to do this. Let's see. Let's just put in far tree line. Okay, I'm just going to go super basic. Then I'm going to switch right to the rigor. I'm just taking that mix, throwing stuff in the air. So these are twigs, branches, trunks. Brings them down for the reflection. This will diffuse. Everything's still wet. Everything's still relaxing. Okay. Now, let's get some super strong paint. Okay. Edge of this embankment. Let's try to bury it up. It did erase quite a bit of, or at least cover up quite a bit of the thin line strokes. So I'm going to go back in and do that. Okay. Where did I put the rigor? There we go. Right now it seems like it's turning more late fall, winter. Maybe I'll keep it like that. Probably from the excessive browns and white. Let's see. Some more Payne's Gray. This is kind of the base of the brush that's overgrown along it. put that there, take a towel, pull some stuff up, get some texture back here. Just wet and wet. So we'll do it dry off, and we'll get some scraping going. Everything's still sort of damp, so I could do some scraping. Let's see. Might be a little too damp, the scraping, but just trying to bury the marks. Starting to get an idea of where everything's going to go. So let's finish drying this off. So I just have a light wash on the rigor. Put that far distance right back in there. Kind of tie that together. And that'll dry pretty light, but it'll give me a connection back there. Okay, so I was drying. You know, obviously I've left that what's the word? Why can't I think of the word? Dry brush right there. And I want to leave it there. I want to leave it visible. But I'm going to need some foreground elements. Need some trees coming up. The trees, since we're hitting that late fall, let's mix a dark brown. And we're not going to have much foliage, if anything, on it. Let's see. That. I'm going to come up around it and help it settle in. And I'm going to have to come around the embankment and do that as well. I'll have that tree back there. I'm going to make some companion trees and branches coming off of it. The paper's still wet up on top. That's fine, it's just adding an interesting effect. And whatever I put on top, and just bring it down a little reflection for it. If we want texture into it, it'll have this dark shadow from it. All right, let's come over to this other side. Oh, I just splattered some paint on, but that's kind of a happy accident, I guess. Dang it. Now I'm quoting Bob Ross. Okay, so let's come up here. Okay, now I'm going to take some raw sienna. That with probably the blue in the Payne's Gray, or if there's a little bit ultramarine mix in there, it's probably giving me that, I guess, olive green look. Is that what you call that? Bring that up. So I'm scraping downward instead of up, which seems to give me a little bit of paint on the edge of the tip after that first scrape, and it'll give me some as like a mark making device as well, which is kind of interesting. That's a little something you could add in for diversity. Some aggressive horizontal strokes. I have 4 trees here, and I don't like the even number, so let's bring these guys up. All that dead vine and whatnot that's left after all the foliage off the vine and the trees are gone. Some pure raw sienna. Let's get some pure burnt sienna on there. Burnt umber. evidence of dead or dying leaves, drying up leaves. And a little just a variation down here. Now, that incidental splatter is nice. And I've been using the splatter a lot lately, so just jump in that. So we get a little bit of splatter now. Okay, there we go. Just going to localize it right in this bottom corner. All right, let's get some more going. Like that. Then I think what I need is just a few or a lot more small branches coming up. It's going to take a very dry hake. See if we can get just the idea of those branches splitting off. Might not be the way to go. And I'm going to stand up for this last part just so I can kind of see the whole big picture, what's going on. And I think I'm going to call it done. Darker right there. Let's add somebody fishing. Let's take a random narrow strip of paper. Let's see. Put in a little fisherman. I don't want to smear anything, but fisherman. Okay. Put them right there. Shrink them down to about here. Okay, there we go. Almost looks like an old-fashioned British hunter. The way he's standing there. Oh, that was way too thick. Dang. Let's see how we're going to correct that. Okay, there we go. Fix it. I'm going to let that dry while I just add a little accessories for him. Hat. I think we will dry it off, sign it, and call it a day. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, or even if you didn't, feel free to like and subscribe, follow, leave a comment, question, etc. Have a great day. Let me turn this off just to end the time.